Dr. Homebrew is brought to you by 5 Star Chemicals, providing safety and cleaning supplies for brewing, distilling, and winemaking at 5starchemicals.com.
Doctor, look!
Stand aside, nurse. I'm Dr. Homebrew.
Stand clear.
Welcome back, everyone. It's another fine edition of Dr. Homebrew. I almost said Ears Up, this is not a Disney podcast. This is a Homebrew podcast.
I don't know.
It's getting late.
That's a little crossover most people here are probably not aware of.
You're probably right.
It might be for the best. All right, edit this part out.
We haven't gotten this far in the song here. This is a part of the Dr. Homebrew intro song I haven't heard, I don't think.
Yeah. That's pretty great because it just repeats.
We're trying to stretch for time, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. No, I had to log into the chat room on my other computer because the current computer that we're using does not allow for such a technological advancement.
You're a multitasking bitch. You can man 6 computers at the same time.
Not really. Well, I mean, I guess I can, but that's the beauty of having such a long song intro, man, or a long show intro. You just go. Gives you time to do stuff that you haven't done yet. Anyway, this is Dr. Homebrew, and, thanks a lot for spending your next hour of your life with us. We're here to talk some beer. More importantly, we're here to talk homebrew. And none of it would be possible without our fine sponsor, 5 Star Chemicals. You can go to 5starchemicals.com. Check them out. They are the ones who bring you Dr. Homebrew exclusively. They are the show sponsor, and we love them for it. You can go to 5starchemicals.com. Everyone knows 5 Star, PBW, Star San, basically the 1-2 punch that you need to properly clean and then sanitize your home brewing equipment, your fermentation equipment, more importantly, your kegging equipment, everything you could ever imagine to produce great homebrew. Because let's face it, you work hard for your homebrew, and what you don't want is a bunch of schmuck and schmeg laying around your fermenter lid or in the crook of your racking cane or whatever. 5 Star Chemicals helps you get all that stuff out, and more importantly, maybe if you come on the show, if you come on Dr. Homebrew, you get a little prize pack from 5 Star. People at 5 Star are real good to us. They're real good to homebrewers, and we love them for it. So, really appreciate it.
Prize pack of schmutz elimination chemicals.
Yeah, it's a de-schmutzer.
Just what you want. That's right.
And it comes with good instructions, too. Like, if you actually pay attention to that stuff instead of just blindly doing what you've always done, put a little PBW in the bottom of my kettle and clean it. And then, there's still some beer stone. I didn't quite get it all, but then it's you read the back, it's for difficult to remove beer stone, leave it overnight at a mixture of such and such. And it's I did that and actually worked perfectly. Kettle's sparkling, shiningly clean.
Which I feel like doesn't happen these days anymore.
I don't normally care about it too much because it's just the kettle. But.
I think Brian is the one in a million who actually read the directions.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Nobody reads directions anymore. No, things don't work the way they're supposed to anymore, I feel. I don't know. Maybe that's just
no one
me.
can write direction manuals. But that's a whole nother story. Maybe that's better for the other show.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
The Disney show?
Right.
Yeah.
Manuals up?
Maybe. Manuals up. That's all we got to do. If you haven't heard Dr. Homebrew before and are a little bit interested, what we are is an interactive BJCP score sheet. So we have Brian and we have Lee here, which are 2 master BJCP judges. The beer judge certification program.
He used the third person there. Is that or he didn't say who are? Which are?
Which are
like we're machines.
We're robots
or
your judging pleasure.
Sure.
We're not actual living people.
No.
Actually, we're just recordings. JP just overdubs this with himself.
Is there a point where you thought that you were going to be treated like a human? Because
we're like the beer judge equivalent of Watson here.
But I have this amazingly good illusion of my pre-existence before the show.
Yeah, and then now
Did a
what?
good job with the memory implants here.
Yeah. Well, it's libertarian free will. I don't know. There you go. Get it all out. Just let it go. Get all the poison out. Lee was on his deathbed last week. Yeah. So forgive him. He's only done radio for a year and a half, and he still coughs in the microphone. So he's still learning. He's a neophyte for this whole thing. But he's a real smart beer guy, is what he is. And so these two cats sit down here and they taste your beer and they fill out sheets, and then we have you on the show, and then we go over the things, and it's great. Are you guys done?
Are you?
I don't know. I'm trying to intro the show.
Exactly.
You guys are cross talking right now. I don't have to ban you. I will put you on timeout for 30 seconds.
The talent.
That's true. Is that what you guys are doing?
Yes.
Anyways, if you want to be on this lovely train wreck that is Dr. Homebrew, shoot me an email, jp@thebrewingnetwork.com, and we will get you on, and you can have your chance to get your 5-star prize pack. We also have stuff from High Gravity Homebrew to give away. We also have stuff from Grog Tag to give away. We just give stuff away, man. We just hand it out all the time. What beers do we have today, guys? We have an ESB, Extra Special Bitter. Yeah. Extra Special Bitter. And I believe the other one is an orange wheat. Ooh. Which was, I think we figured, is probably an American-style wheat. Yeah. It didn't say Heffa or anything like that, so that's where we pegged it. That is from Chris, and Chris is on the phone. Do you just want to let's just get going, huh? Let's get going. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can do this right. I can never do this stupid phone.
Push the button.
There's a blinking red light.
And
I think.
Chris,
are you there?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
I'm here.
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, you got a beer with you?
I sure do. I got my last cranberry beer that I sent in for you guys to be tasting, I think, tonight.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we went with the orange wheat for some reason. Yeah, so, sorry for your last cranberry beer.
That's all good.
Is it good?
Yeah, it is.
Excellent. Enjoy that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the other one.
We can do that next month. And then, and then you won't be able to sit. And then you'll drink your last orange wheat beer, and it'll be just, everything will be right with the world.
That's right.
Anyway, how long have you been homebrewing, man?
About 2 years in May.
Okay. And are you mostly all grain, or are you still extract, or what are you doing?
All grain.
You doing all grain? How long have you been doing all grain for?
After my third batch.
Okay. This is your third batch?
Oh, no.
After your third batch of extract?
Yeah.
Oh, God, look at you, dude. Nice. Just went right for it.
Yeah. Well, I got that Trailmaker Blazing Joy of Homebrew.
Uh-huh.
And just got a couple buckets and did the whole Pap Zap thing for a minute or two.
Okay. All right. And then did anyone help you with that, or just the book, and then that's kind of it? Do you have a brewing partner that limped you along, or what?
No, just me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you sending your beer in, man. And let's pour some of this, fellas.
All right.
What do you think?
Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited about this.
Actually,
We need more glasses.
Oh.
Perfect.
Little hiss.
Oh, wow. That's a good color.
This is a very pretty beer, yeah.
It's like amber, but there's a nice orange hue to it.
Yeah.
Throw me one of those glasses, would you guys?
I'll just hand it if that's okay.
Oh, wow. That's good aroma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate you sending both beers in, man. If the cranberry wit smells anything like this orange wheat beer, I think we're in it for a treat.
Oh, yeah, that cranberry is really, really good.
Brian, start us off.
Hi.
Would you mind?
I certainly will.
Thank you.
So in the aroma, I get this, a nice grainy malt character coming through with some weedy elements as expected. You get a little bit of that base style in there with the orange. And, the orange is very prominent, pleasant, smooth, and fairly fresh smelling. But, not too intense in the aroma. It's kind of, along with the base style, it's kind of, not exactly unassuming, but it's kind of just there with the other elements. And there's no bad stuff in the way here, no DMS or diacetyl, no big problems on the ferment, clean ale. I didn't get a lot of any real hop character in here. There's no obvious hops in it. The esters, fruity esters, are kind of medium low in there, along with the orange, and just a pleasant, inviting aroma to the beer. Color wise, it's pretty beer. Nice burnished gold color with brilliant clarity. Has a low white head that kind of starts low and doesn't persist very well. We found that the carbonation in the beer seemed to be a little bit on the low side too, in this bottle at least. And I don't know if it was bottled from keg or if this was a bottle conditioned beer. We can chat with you about that. But I thought it also could be something to do with the fruit oils or maybe some excessive protein breakdown, that the head kind of just faded pretty quickly. But it's forgivable in a beer like this, I suppose. As far as the flavor goes, you get into that, and it tastes a little different than the aroma it comes through. You definitely think it's going to taste one way, and then it kind of throws you a little bit of a curveball in the flavor.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
It's strongly malty, and it comes across as being almost a bit wordy, but it might be because of the low carbonation in this sample. But it's a clean malt character, and it's not offensive. It's just a little kind of on the sweeter side and wordy, so along with the orange oil character that's in there. So
it might taste a little under fermented, but you don't think? Do you think it is actually unfermented?
It might have,
or stopped.
It may
at a
have finished on the higher side. It's hard. Okay. It's hard to say, but yeah, it kind of finishes kind of medium, leaning towards sweet, along with all the sweetness, the perceived sweetness that you get from the orange character that's in there. So. The malt character to me, because of this, is not as refreshing as I would expect it to be, but it's still pretty good. There's no big hop flavors, kind of just a low earthiness in the background, but the orange is definitely there. It comes across as being a bit kind of pithy and rindy tasting, more the kind of darker flavors of the orange rather than the bright, sharp, sour edge of a citrusy, Orangina kind of flavor. It doesn't really have a lot of that kind of thing. It's just, it's not a kiddie soda pop. It's a rich orange oil kind of flavor in there for the fruit, and it's hiding behind a pretty firm bitterness in there. Maybe a little high for the style, I thought, but in the aftertaste, you got to get this pulpy, fruity, malty, flavors kind of melding together. But again, no major issues like fermentation-wise that I noted in the flavor profile. It's pretty clean beer. Mouthfeel, it's medium-bodied with a medium low to low carbonation. There's not a whole lot of spritz there. I didn't get any warmth, and only a slight bit of astringency, maybe from the kind of pithy fruit character that's in there. And it's not very creamy or smooth. It's just it's kind of a dense beer.
Yeah.
But not super full body. It's just without the carbonation there to pep it up a little bit, it kind of falls a little flat in the mouthfeel, but not horrible. But yeah, it's an overall pleasant drinking beer with a lot going for it. Very nice aroma, including that dose of the declared orange there. It kind of gets muddled with some of the other elements in the flavor, and that kind of pulpy element. That might have been too what was trying to be pulled out of the flavor. And I'd love to talk about what the fruit addition method was. There's different ways to add it, and different things from the fruit that you can add, and the peel, the rind, the juice, and you can go with different ratios of all those things, or you can use extracts and flavoring components. I don't know what was done here, but we'll definitely spend a lot of time talking about that, I hope. You want to avoid over-bittering a style like this to make sure that it's not going to fight with the fruit flavor that's in there. Work on keeping that refreshing character of the wheat beer coming through in the flavor as well as the aroma. You did a nice job in the aroma and giving a really inviting beer. But I'd also like to talk about what malts were used in the beer, and if it's something beyond just wheat and base malt. It's got a fairly dark color. I don't know if it's all coming from the orange, but it's got this kind of rich golden color, almost dark gold, and again, very pretty color, just this deep burnished orangey gold. But I don't know where all that color's coming from. So if it was something besides just the wheat and the base malt, would like to see what's in it, and maybe you could dial back some of those richer malts if that's where it's coming from. overall, I thought it was a really nice beer. I gave it a 32. And, yeah, very tasty. Thanks for sharing.
Excellent. Lee. Mr. Lee.
All right. I found the nose in this just full of sort of almost a sun-kissed aroma, sweet orange rind, some floral notes. It's
Brand
like
specific.
Brand
Nice.
specific,
I
right?
like it.
They do support us, right?
Your sponsor,
Sure.
yeah.
They are now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Wrong. Yeah, they are now. Yeah, just sweet orange rind. It wasn't the Kurtzau or anything like that. Very floral and perfumey, and that really kind of dominated the nose. There's a little bit of some sort of caramelly malt aroma and some bready kind of wheat aroma in there, but not a whole lot. Nothing I could really identify as any kind of ferment ester or hop in the nose, and that's fine. It was all about the orange oil and pretty dominant. The appearance, I would give it. It was brilliant. It was very clear, sort of a pale copper color. Not much head. It pours a low off-white head. It kind of fades to a bead very quickly. I'm kind of guessing that's from the orange oil that's in there, but I don't know. Classically, an American wheat should have a pretty nice, rich, big, moosey, persistent head. But if this is full of orange oil, it's not going to be there. I understand that, so I'm kind of cutting it some slack on that. I think that's probably fine. The flavor, again, strong leading orange oil character, perfumey, orangey, a little bit of caramelly white bread kind of malt flavor under that. Hops seem to be pretty much out of the picture. Couldn't really get any distinct ferment esters aside from all the orange character, which is pretty much what I would expect here. Bitter to support. I didn't find it to be particularly over bittered or anything. But one thing I do know is that a lot of that orange rind character can be pretty bitter in its own right. So it's something you got to balance out when you're making your recipe.
That could be true.
It's gonna, along with the hops, it's going to provide a pretty good bitter character.
So you would factor that into your bitterness.
Might want to underhop it.
But
how do
it's
you
not like
even
you
do
can
that?
calculate an IBU on that. You're
Right.
going to have to take a best guess and go with what you get.
Yeah.
If anything, I'd shoot low on the hops, and if it tastes a little bit too sweet, you can always boil up a little bitter hop tea or something and throw it in. But
Okay.
At least on the
up to
early
you.
hops, yeah.
Yeah, or it's something you might have to brew a few times to get the balance right.
Okay.
Finish is just a little bit sweet, with lingering perfumey orange and a little bit of the caramelly, bit of a bready hint to it. It's pretty nice flavor balance overall. It's really all about the oranges again, though. The orange oil, the perfumey character of that, which is very nice. It's also very strong, though, which is to the point. Which is actually my main point of interest in this beer. As a matter of balance, I find the orange character, while it's pleasant, it's maybe a little overbearing for the rest of the beer itself. We'll get to that more on that in a minute. For the mouthfeel, I thought it was pretty low carbonation. Needs some more carbonation. And, I mean, taking a close look at these bottles, they look to me like they're probably a bottle fill, so it's probably a bottle filling approach issue. Other than that, it's sort of a medium body, not hot or astringent. A little bit of creaminess in there was very like. It'd probably be better on that front if it had some more carbonation to it to help drive that. Overall, I thought it was an interesting and very tasty display of orange oil, orange rind character. A little bit of a supporting American wheat beer. Very nice orange character, perfumey, orange rind. But as a matter of balance, I think the base beer in this is serving merely as a vehicle. So it's sort of a matter of what the brewer wants. If you want to drink this and you like it like this, and your friends like it like this, and actually I kind of like it like this, go for it. You've got it. If you want to enter a competition and score well in it, you might want to shoot for a little bit more balance and have the base beer shine through a little bit more. Because in a competition, the judges are going to be looking for some balance between the base beer and the specialty edition. And the specialty edition here, to me anyways, you're really pushing it on that front. It's almost all orange, and you kind of got to look twice to get the base beer. If you're not looking for it, you probably won't find it.
Yeah, it could be an amber or anything like, or even a pale ale. I mean, so even though it's an orange wheat beer, you want it to be a wheat beer first.
Well,
with
no,
orange flavoring,
it has to be
or
a wheat beer too, not sort of yeah, there's a wheat beer, or actually it's more like there's a beer here. It's really all orange and no beer. You have to kind of look lift up the orange hood and look for the beer. I don't know how many stupid metaphors I can come up with here.
You did
probably
fine.
a few more if we need to. But for me, that's the whole thing. And bring the carbonation up a little bit on this. It'd probably help it a lot, and it might help drive the base beer character more. I do think it will also drive the orange oil a lot more, though. As far as, I'm curious to hear how you added the orange flavors and everything in here. I'm betting it's a lot of oil rind addition. I don't get much of a juice pulp kind of flavor. There's a little bit here, but overall I gave it 32. I thought it was pretty drinkable. In some ways, I like it more than that score would suggest. It's a very interesting, very pleasant taste. But I think technically on that balance point, it kind of the wheat beer is lost under all that orange. So I think. To score better, you might want a better balanced beer on that regard.
Okay. Chris, well, you want to rap a little bit about how you added this orange flavoring in your beer?
Yeah. I had 2 of those little cutie orange things, like little tiny ones to give to your kids.
Little clementines bags.
Yeah.
Bags of clementines, yeah.
Yeah. And that flame out, I just peeled 2 and threw them all in. Squeezed the juice out of the thing, threw it in the pot, and wine to everything.
2 bagfuls or just 2 clementines?
No, just two clementines.
Into how big a batch?
5 gallons.
Wow!
Really?
Those
2
little things
oranges.
did that? You're
Yeah.
kidding.
No.
That's crazy.
Now, I did also add,
okay.
the
5-quart tin of orange oil. Yeah.
Yeah, orange extract.
Essentially. I zested a couple oranges and put them in some vodka for a couple of days, and then added that at kegging time because it was just
At kegging
all that
time, okay.
piss, and it didn't have any orange. It was just all piss character and nothing.
Okay. Okay.
You wanted some fresh zest in there.
And smelling it smelled really hot to me, but I didn't mention it because I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm smelling. But it might be these stupid tasting glasses that we have at the studio, like the 4-ounce Belgian tulip
The little
glasses.
brandy snifters.
Yeah, and it hyper focuses a lot of it. So I kind of wrote it off, but it makes sense. It smells a little boozy, right? Like vodka booze.
Maybe. I mostly just got orange oil. But
I don't know if
there's a little alcohol.
If adding that much, a little shot
It
glass.
did end up at about 7.3%. So there's some alcohol there.
That explains the grins around the table.
It's pretty smooth for that level. Yeah, it doesn't.
Bev, do you want some? You might like this a lot, actually. Yeah,
It's pretty good.
it's not bad. I don't think she probably heard, but it's like 7.5. It's like 1,200% alcohol. You can basically run your car on it, and it's amazing.
Orange Everclear.
And make the neighborhood smell good.
So, what did you do for the tincture? Because I know a lot of people are kind of getting into that. So, maybe a little info on that.
I just zested them, being real careful not to get any of the pith in there this time, and just let them soak. Shook them up every couple days, and a little bit. It was about 4 ounces of vodka, and just shook them. It was almost like a paste. I had to squeeze it out of there.
And was that more of the cuties that you zested, or was it some other?
Just regular old navel oranges.
Yeah.
All right. You don't have to tell us the brand. Well, that is a question of balance. That might have been more than you needed, actually. I don't know. I mean, but it depends. Back to whether you're brewing this to taste or brewing for competition.
What are you trying to do with this beer, Chris?
Where are you going with this? Tell us.
I was brewing, I guess, to taste. I was trying to get my wife interested in drinking a little bit of beer.
Yeah,
You were making chick beer.
He's trying to get his wife drunk. Yeah.
We have some people who will lambast you for that. But as long as you got honorable intentions, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
We don't have those people here.
We don't have those people here, and we don't have honorable intentions. But that's not something we have
There
to
are those
discuss.
people out there in the
Right.
world, Chris, but they're no fun.
Yes.
And it's,
Well,
it's nice that you had the presence of mind, though, too, when your initial taste after, getting to kegging time was a little low on the orange flavor. You beefed it up a little bit.
Well, and I will say this is not like a fruit. This is not a fruit beer. I didn't know what to expect because who knows if you did like a raspberry, just a little raspberry flavoring or orange flavoring in this case. But you actually took the time to craft a flavorful beer that tasted like oranges, and that's cool. Not many people would go to that effort, I think, and
Those shortcuts,
I like it. It was a good approach, man, for sure.
It is.
How could he get it a little more I don't know, the more wheat beer-ish.
I could probably drop the crystal malt I put in there. But,
I think
you know,
part of the reason that it might have seemed a little heavy to me was the strength of it now, which is a little obvious in tasting it a little more too, and it does come through underneath that orange. You get that big beefy base style in there, and it's like, is this just a nice little 5% wheat beer? It seems like more than that, and lightening it up to 5.5% might be a nice way to make it a little more refreshing.
You know what's weird is doing this show makes you really, excuse me, makes you really realize how different a beer tastes going into it blind versus knowing what's into it now. Like what you just said, Brian, is, you know, I judged it this way, but now that I heard about this, it makes sense as to why I was, you know, getting these certain flavors. I don't know. It's really
It felt heavy to me, especially in the mouthfeel a little bit. It just was a little off in that. And it had some kind of big flavors, like wordy kind of flavor in the malt element of the flavor to me, and that's probably why it's presenting itself that way. Is some of the beefiness of this beer? It's like, whoa.
What's your recipe, Chris?
I had about 41% Weyermann Pilsner malt, 41% white wheat malt, and 10% Crystal 10.
Okay.
Do you think he needs the crystal at all?
I was trying to keep it a little bit on the sweeter side, just because, you know.
So you're missing 8% there.
I would maybe lighten up on that crystal, and maybe instead of relying on that to get your sweetness.
Also, a pound of sugar.
Okay.
Demerara sugar.
Well, that'll do it.
All right. Well, that explains the alcohol.
That's going to beef up the alcohol.
I mean, I think the crystal in a way is nice because that caramel flavor kind of helps tie the base beer and the orange oil together.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you want a little less caramelly and sweet, you could reduce that a bit, but.
It's only Crystal 10, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably fine. The one thing I would say about oranges and orange oils is it's actually a really strong flavor. I've done some brewing with orange blossom honey, and it always comes to way more than I expect of the final product.
Yes.
Yeah, the stuff is amazingly strong. So for a beer like this, especially if you're going to go and make a tincture, what I would do is try and do a titration experiment for your addition before you commit to putting 4 ounces of peel extract into a keg like that.
What's that beer? What's the big word mean?
Or basically,
what's that big T word?
You try and adjust to how much you add. So pour a pint of your beer and maybe put like a half teaspoon of your orange oil in there or your extract, mix it in, and see if it tastes right. And if it does, you can scale up, a pint. You got, like 40 pints in a keg, so I need 40 half teaspoons. Or if it's too much, maybe I need half of 40 teaspoons. You can try another titration.
That's 20 teaspoons, right?
It would be 20 teaspoons, something like that. Yeah, very good.
High five you, Bev. There we go.
Yeah, but I mean, it can help, especially if you have a tincture like that, to try and sort of do a small-scale pre-blend to make sure you're getting the level of flavor that you want.
That's a good idea.
It's very easy to do with a tincture like that.
And maybe let it sit, too. And, Chris, I don't know what you did, but
It's been sitting for a hot minute.
What's that?
It's been sitting since about July.
Wow.
June. Sorry. No. Jesus.
I don't think the orange is
Jesus.
going away.
We went from June to July to Jesus.
Yeah. I don't think the orange is going away anytime soon. My orange blossom honey beers, that stuff sticks around.
Well, and so talking to Shay Comfort, we've had him on the session a couple years ago. He does a lot of additions and tannin additions for wine and stuff like that. And he'll do it to a cider. He'll throw some tannin in a cider, and we'll taste it, and then he'll let it sit for like a week, just to let everything mix before he makes that final judgment as to what it's going to do to the final addition. So I would imagine this would be something very similar, where you can't just taste it and go, oh, boom, and then that's the thing. Just let it sit for a couple days.
Yeah, that might not hurt.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking an initial target, and if anything, shoot a little low.
Yeah.
And you can always adjust it up again later.
Yeah,
it takes time, which I realize is precious, and you want to drink the beer. But, if you want to nail that perfect balance, sometimes that's a good way to go.
His wife's probably going, Chris, come on, I'm thirsty. Enough with this experiment. Do you have any questions for the guys, Chris?
No, you guys pretty much covered it. Yeah.
Couple of things just for fun. You could, instead of that big sugar addition, if you want to do, I wouldn't maybe do that big of a sugar addition, but maybe throw a little orange blossom honey in there just to fit the theme and have some fun with that. You'll get some some of the orange blossom type flavors in there, along with the orange rind and zest flavors, and it might be fun. I personally would back off the Crystal 20 and the strength overall a little bit, just to get that base style to come through a little better as a clean American wheat beer. What kind of yeast was it again?
It's actually some bottle dregs from some wine Stefan and a Burton IPA blend mixed together.
Wow.
That's not a weird combo at all.
No.
Yeah.
So we got a lager and
It worked.
ale yeast working in tandem here.
It definitely worked. All right, man. Well, if that's it, we'll let you go, and keep us posted if you do this again. I'd like to know how you adjusted and to see where you ended up with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing. It was a fun beer.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, bud.
Uh-huh.
All right, man. Bye.
Bye.
That was cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It was a very interesting beer. Despite my thinking it's a little out of balance, it's actually very enjoyable. I just wouldn't approach it like a regular beer.
You can tell he didn't take any shortcuts. He had some fun with it. He put a lot of thought into it. So that's part of what makes a good beer, and you can adjust from there. If your experiment doesn't yield what you want, then just work it out or call us. So.
Yeah, man. Everything that he did, his fermentation is solid. His packaging is fine. There's no
despite the interesting
flavors.
yeast that was used, it's like, well, I just did this, and hey, it worked.
I wish I can get to that level in my brewing, man. I mean, I've been brewing on this Pico brew for like 4 months, and I can't bring anything in because it's all terrible because I can't ferment properly. I don't know what it is. It's just
you need us to come over to your house, and we'll do an on-site edition of Dr. Homebrew at JP's house.
What I need you to do is just you brew for me, and then keg for me, and then package for me. Like, I'll give you my recipe, and I'll go, here you go, and I'll come over and I'll push the button, and then from then on, then you deal with it.
Bring us 5 gallons of work.
There's some
and then you bring
breweries nearby that will actually do that for you.
That would be fun. We have a little competition.
They'll brew for you and ferment for you and package for you.
Yeah, but you can't use your recipe, can you?
Yeah, well,
it depends who you are.
Okay, I guess.
You're not tasty, though, so no, you can't use your recipe.
No, I'm not. No. Oh, whatever. Okay, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to go over Daniel's ESB, I believe, and Daniel and his buddy are in the studio. And, I don't know, we're going to maybe take our shirts off and get weird. Who knows? It's Dr. Homebrew. Stay with us.
Since the first time the Brewing Network microphones turned on, More Beer was behind it. More Beer sponsors the programming on the BN because, like you, they love brewing. And like the Brewing Network, they love sharing their knowledge. Morebeer.com isn't just a website to place your next equipment or ingredient order. Morebeer.com also gives you access to free beer information that will make you a better brewer. Go to morebeer.com and click into the Learning Center. You'll find podcasts, technical facts, video tutorials, and more, including access to The Buzz, More Beer's social network of more than 5,000 members. And some of them might even be crazier about beer than you are. Get over to morebeer.com today and take advantage of The Buzz, the forum, the Learning Center, and make sure you're signed up to receive the newest More Beer catalog. More Beer, bringing you absolutely everything for beer making.
Hello, fellow BNers. This is Sully from the 21st Amendment Brewery located in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park. Before Nico and I opened the 21A and before I was a professional brewer, I homebrewed on my small 4-burner apartment stove in a back house in Santa Monica, California, making my extract brews before graduating to the daunting idea of all-grain brewing. Homebrew books and information was hard to come by back then. The internet hadn't been invented yet, along with other things we take for granted today, like electricity and potable water. One thing I wish I had back then when I was learning was a radio show that could teach me the ins and outs of brewing and answer questions that I had about homebrewing, a resource for making great craft beer. The 21st Amendment Brewery is excited to be a proud sponsor of Dr. Homebrew, a great show that teaches you what you need to know about making incredible beer. Good stuff. Listen up, you might learn something. I certainly did. And thanks for your support. Tasty Crack Games.
That's it. I've had it. I am never never putting hops in my beer again.
What? Why?
It's just too ridiculous. Insane prices, stupid contracts, high shipping costs, crappy selection.
Dude, you need Nico Brew.
Nico Brew will rock your f***ing face right the f*** off your f***ing skull. $5 shipping to all 50 states. Plus fantastic international rates get you low prices on Nico Brew's great selection of hops and more. Whether you're a home brewer, a pro brewer, or a homebrew shop owner, Nico Brew can get you the hops you need in increments big and small. Single orders, spot buys, or full contracts. And there's only one place to join the uber special secret elite bare bones club where you'll get the best deals anywhere.
Holy shit.
NicoBrew.com. NIKOBREW. Nico Brew, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
High Gravity Homebrewing Supplies wants you to keep it simple. Brewing should be fun. And with High Gravity's amazing electric brewing systems, it is. High Gravity keeps their brewing systems simple, on purpose. More efficient than gas, customizable, and with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 vessels, High Gravity's electric brewing systems will completely change the way you brew beer, formulate recipes, and improve your beer's consistency. Dave at High Gravity can customize your system to fit your needs. High Gravity invites you to visit their Build Your Own Brewery page and see how easy it can be to brew electric. And High Gravity offers $7.99 flat rate shipping on most of their products. www.highgravitybrew.com. High Gravity. Keep it electric. Keep it simple. Visit highgravitybrew.com.
Now, back to the examination.
All right, thanks for sticking with us. Dr. Homebrew coming into the second segment. We have Daniel and Jesse in the studio. But before we get to them, I want to tell you about the AHA. What is that, you ask? Inquisitorily? Made up that word. That's the American Homebrewers Association. Go to homebrewersassociation.org and become a member of the AHA. You get Zymergy issues, which is a homebrewing magazine, in case you didn't know. But more importantly, you get to support an organization that fights for your rights to be a homebrewer, which are under fire every day. Maybe not every day, but probably a good third of the week. And
there have been some challenges in, California and in the Northwest over the past years, and they've legalized it in a lot of states. It hasn't been, and they're right side by side with the brewers in those areas and those communities, fighting with them and helping them out.
For sure. I mean, and then the AHA are really supporting those people who are trying to raise the alcohol limit in certain states and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they raise visibility of these issues and get people to write letters to state congresspeople, and it really makes a difference. I've written some letters, and friends of mine have, who otherwise probably wouldn't have without getting the word out like they do. So
yeah, it's a great organization. So check them out, please. The American Homebrewers Association. Of course, they also put on the National Homebrewers Conference, and which is in San Diego this year in June.
Oh, yeah.
And I will be there, of course. Beverly will be there as well.
I will be there.
Looking great, as usual.
You look fantastic.
Yeah, I'll be there, too.
You're going to look fantastic?
Not that anyone cares.
Yes.
But that's all right.
You'll look fantastic also.
See, there you go. Don't fret, Lee.
Yeah,
Take
I'm
some
fretting.
beauty tips from Bev. You'll be right up there. Be right up there, right below Brian.
I don't know how
Those
up
are
there you'll
tips
be.
that I'm sure can't fail, but you need good starting material.
That's true.
Yes.
You probably should get a decent foundation to start with.
Right.
I just bought some new foundation, so I can make this happen.
Okay.
Makeover! It'll be fantastic.
Time to grow a beard.
Surprised Lee didn't come back with a little Euro makeover after his trip there recently.
That's right.
That was all in my liver.
Totally failed on talking about your little Belgium excursion.
I had a Belgium excursion.
Yeah.
It was
fun.
good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yes.
Tara and I are thinking about doing that for a honeymoon, but I don't know. It's expensive, man.
It's cheaper now than it usually is because the dollar is strong. And if you look, you can scare up some good ticket prices for airlines. Mm-hmm. And if you're cheap, As I know you are.
Yeah.
You can do Airbnb and find places to stay that way rather than paying $200 a night for a hotel room.
Yeah, so Taryn's cousin works for Intel, and apparently after 10 years, they make you take like a 2-month
sabbatical.
Mm-hmm. So he's just backpacking through Europe, and he's doing this all right now. And he's like, it's Airbnb, man.
I did that while I was over there. It's great. You can get some nice rooms that way if you look carefully.
Do you root through people's dressers and shit?
I can't.
I would totally
about
do that. I would totally do that.
The question is, did they do that to you? But
yeah, they might.
I survived.
You did?
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know.
Nobody stole any of my clothing except for the airline.
Oh, really?
They lost my bags the whole time.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So what did you do for, like chonies and stuff?
I had to go to the department store and buy socks and underwear.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I am not kidding. I was already planning to buy a bunch of T-shirts at different breweries, so that worked out well.
Right.
Yeah.
And your Airbnb, you can just go home and wash them.
Right.
Yeah, people have a laundromat right there.
Well, I wasn't there long enough to actually need that, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I've got some wonderful new European socks that look just like my American socks.
Are they European cut? They're just a low cut sock, or
no?
Okay.
They're cheap socks. They're all the same. They're just sold somewhere else. They all come off the same loom or press or whatever.
It's just funny to me.
Sock loom.
And the question of what shirt am I going to wear tomorrow is answered by, well, what brewery did I visit today?
Yeah.
Super easy. I love that.
And there you go. You can see which one I'm wearing today.
Your Cantillon shirt?
That's right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Did the walking tour. It was great. Check out the cool ship and all the old barrels and the cobwebs. And
nice.
Do a little tasting. And
how was it?
Great. Oh, it was very nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How hard is it to just not extend your trip by a day and just stay there? That would be I would just want to stay there the whole time.
You mean like never come back?
Well, maybe never come back, but more just of like, I don't know. Oh, we could go on to Cologne or I don't know, wherever. I don't know, Europe from Kansas.
We're going to stay at Cantillon.
But let's not do that. Just stay here for an extra day.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it depends on what the airline's going to give you for a deal or a non-deal for extending changing your ticket.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that.
Was that, to me, that's a temptation. That wouldn't be a temptation for me.
No.
Right.
Well,
you probably just bought a bunch of bottles and brought them along with you.
I was out of vacation time. Yeah, I had to come back. Yeah. But yeah, it was great. Went and did the self tour at Cantillon and went down to Dryfontein and ate in the cafe. And we actually got a tour there from Armand, which was great. We were set up through some connections with some of the people I went with. And,
awesome.
Got the personal guided tour through there, and got sips out of the barrels and bottles of Creek, and it's just great.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And then we went to Antwerp and spent a couple nights sitting at the Culminator, went out to the West Mall, the cafe across from the West Mall Monastery. And
did you
drank Fresh Triple.
Did you get my Westy 6? Can you mule any home for me?
So West Vlaterra, we went. No, they didn't have any bottles at all for sale.
Oh, man.
I did buy a 5-pound wheel of cheese and brought it back, but it's gone. No, I was bummed. They had no beer for sale off premise. They had everything on tap.
Okay.
Or in bottles they're pouring behind the bar, actually. I think
no growler fills either.
Nothing
I would
to
guess.
go. Yeah.
That was dude, I brought my growler. Can you fill it up, man?
Do they do growlers? I mean, that's probably a dumb question, but
I didn't see any anywhere.
To me, growler fills are an American,
very American thing.
And I don't know why, just because that's my frame of reference. So
yeah.
Or maybe at least England, but I can't imagine going to France and getting a growler fill of IPA or whatever. I don't know.
A growler full of French IPA.
Style.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
A growler full of Saison or Beer de Garde. Yeah. We went to a craft beer festival, which was all Belgium and British breweries doing American style IPAs and stouts.
Oh, I bet that
was
amazing
kind of interesting.
For you.
Yeah. It was like, well, they almost got that. Some of them were quite good, though, actually, I got to say.
Really?
Definitely latch on. Yeah, American-style craft beer is spreading through Europe right now.
You're an American. You must like this stuff.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but I didn't fly over here to drink that. I'm going back to West Vlaterra.
Yeah, so I was talking to our friend UK Phil, who runs Beer Merchants in the UK, obviously. And, he's like, I'm like, give me some tips on drinking in London or like some places to go in England or whatever. I don't know.
Lots of places.
Just to plan for it. And he goes, well, it depends on what you want. And I'm like, I'm not going to England to drink a modern craft beer. I'm going to drink ESB by the 20
Then get the
ounce
camera
glass.
app on your phone and go where it tells you pretty much.
My phone
you
comes
can get
with a
some
camera,
tips on
though.
the better ones. But sorry?
No, I said my phone comes with a camera. I don't need to get like another. Like
CAMRA.
CAMRA, Campaign for Real Ale.
Look it up. Look
Those
it
are
up.
the guys who do the traditional beer, the traditional bitters, and they rate all the pubs, and they can tell you where the good ones are for that.
Okay.
That's a good way to start. If
They
you got someone over there who knows what the best of those are, then that's even better.
They take axes and they smash icy cold Budweiser displays too. I think, like, don't they? Like
Before
modern,
each outing.
Well, you know, I
Wimpy
haven't
beer.
actually seen that, but I'd be happy to participate.
wimpy beer prohibitionists.
I'll smash. I'll smash anything. I just like breaking stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. And then light it on fire.
I've got a couple of pens here for you.
Thanks.
You
Perfect.
smash those and get ink all over the room.
They've already been smashed. I know why that ink is all down in there.
Yeah, and we toured a few other breweries too. It was nice, like Destruce and Dedal. Dedal was awesome if you ever get a chance to go there.
Yeah.
Some tiny little town outside of Ghent.
Of course.
Great place to go.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, there's such cool people there.
That's good.
Yeah, good beer.
I'm glad you had fun.
I did.
Sounds like a great experience.
And then I had to come back here.
And do radio with us.
That's true. I know. right?
Yeah, that's not so bad. This is the high point.
There you
coming
go.
back here, right?
All right. Well, we have Daniel and Jesse in the studio. Fellas, how you doing?
Hey, we're doing pretty good. Thank you.
Thanks for coming all the way out here from wherever you live.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
They
Far,
live,
far
they
away.
live in Pita Dinkland.
Oh, that's right. You guys are Peter Munoz brewers, huh?
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah,
brew
he
with him,
helps
or you
out,
know him
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, he's been a big help to us.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
Ugly as sin, but smart dude, right?
He definitely knows what he's doing.
He does know that. And
does know
his
that.
kid can probably kick all of our asses.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I don't even
Voiceover,
mess with
yeah.
that guy.
No.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, actually, if you want your Westy 6 clone, go to Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, he and I have talked about it. Yeah. I
He's
actually
done a
haven't
couple.
had it in a while.
He got pretty damn close.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has.
He's a better fermenter. See, again, my Belgian Pale was sort of modified at that, but I
Don't
can't
measure Pete by your failures.
I can't
Pete.
get
It's
the.
not fair to him.
Oh no, it's totally fair to him. It gives him a head. But I can't get that crispness in the hot. I can't do light beers. I don't know. So I just I'll just let Peter brew it for me.
If you can get him to do that, you're doing well. Hey, Pete, you want to brew JP a beer? Another Westy 6 clone. We'd all like it.
Right.
Bring it in.
So you guys brought in an ESB.
Yeah, sorta.
Sorta?
Yeah.
But
No.
it was ESB, but it's like full of heroin or what?
Pretty much.
Which
okay.
letter is off?
Well, it was a compromise beer, and
Okay.
we tried to make a dual batch out of this one, and it was going to be half a pale ale and half an ESB with a different dry hopping schedule and different yeasts.
Okay.
And I tried to just make the best of both worlds.
Okay. All right. And do you guys brew together?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're all part of the same brewing company.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Which is what? Do you want to give a little shout out to your club? or whatever?
It's the Brethren Brewing Company, and it's just a bunch of guys from our church, and we all brew together and just have a really good time doing it. And
Nice.
It's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it works pretty well.
How long you guys been brewing?
5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years, seriously. There was a time where we probably were on a hiatus for about a year and a half because we just didn't know what we were doing, basically.
Yeah. And we've been doing all grain for, I would say, probably 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I heard you talking before the show. You're married to your own sisters.
Yeah.
How does that even work?
I don't
in
think
the
it's quite
church?
like that.
I
No?
don't even pretend to even understand
No,
how they
They're
work.
married to each other's sisters.
Yeah. No,
I thought he said I married my sister.
Yeah, right.
She's my sister wife.
That's
and
a
it's
religious way of calling you.
Yeah,
women.
right.
It's strange.
My sister.
Sister's
I married
cousin,
her.
Rite of passage.
roommate, or something like that. Yeah.
No, our wives are sisters.
See, and you're not the first pair of brewing buddies that have had that. Remember
That's right.
the dudes?
Oh, yeah.
In fact, and they were married to twins.
Oh.
Our
Which
wives
is
are definitely
weirder.
not twins.
No,
I can tell you
no,
that.
our lives look way different.
That's weird. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't imagine like sitting there across from my friend who and then is looking at basically a mirror image of my wife. I would be jealous.
Quite the opposite in this situation.
Yeah.
Wondering if they've swapped on you or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like who is what's going on? Okay, well let's drink your ESB.
right.
You guys want to bust that open?
All right.
Which is 20 minutes. What'd you do? The warm test or the cold test?
It was the cold test.
The cold test. All right.
Well, he was going to go with the warm, but then it warmed up for another 20
we've
minutes.
been talking for 20 minutes, so it's time.
Yeah.
It was time to go for the colder one.
I love ESB. It's my new style. That's what I've been trying to brew on the Pico Brew forever, and I just, every time I...
bring it in.
I need to. I have another batch that I need to keg. I haven't kegged in a while, and I'll bring it in, but I think it's my new favorite style.
Yeah, ESBs are fun.
All right, Lee, since Brian did the honors on the last segment, why don't you start us off here, would you?
All right. An aroma. It does have an aroma. Candied orange, kind of, or almost a marmalade-y kind of aroma ester to it. Some caramelly malt. Those are both kind of the dominant, especially the ester, actually, at least initially, was kind of the dominant aroma. A little bit of a bready malt character to it as well. Medium-low spicy floral hops is kind of a nice supporting note. Had some stone fruit, some cherry esters as it warmed up a bit. Maybe just a whisper of diacetyl. It was really threshold. I wasn't 100% sure it was there. And the warmer it gets, I also started getting some more almost kind of tropical kind of esters in it, sort of like a bruised fruit, tropical pineapple sort of thing, which seemed a little out of place. I don't know if it was a ferment ester or if you guys slip some American hops in there while you're doing your pale ale brew, side of the brew or something. I could see it coming from there. Appearance... Pours an off-white foam, mostly fine, fades slowly to a light cover. It's a little bit of a haze to it, at least the bottle we looked at. Yeah, this one does too. It's not quite clear. Amber color. It's a pretty beer. It could be a little clearer. Otherwise, it looks about right for an ESB. For the flavor, medium-high spicy floral hops with a little bit of a leafy edge to them. Medium-high bittering over a medium bready caramel malt base. The bitter's a bit roughed, in my opinion, and that lingers into the finish, comes out a little bit more. Had a low kind of orange and cherry ester to it as well. Finish is almost dry, with a very hop-forward, lingering, very hop-forward kind of character in the finish, lingering caramel notes, and perhaps, again, just a whisper of diacetyl in there. For the mouthfeel, a medium body and carbonation, which is probably fine for a bottle version of an ESB. Not hot or alcoholic at all. A little bit of drying, astringent character from the kind of rough bittering that was in there. It didn't really finish very cleanly on that front. Medium creaminess is pretty to style on the mouthfeel, except for that rough hop edge to it. Overall, I think it's a nice medium body English type malt and hop flavors for the most part, although there's probably some other hop flavors in there. A touch of English ferment character to it. The bittering, and to a lesser but not 0 degree, the flavor for the hops I thought was rough, making it not such a pleasant session drinker. And that's kind of the whole point of these beers. They should be a real session beer. You can chug it back. There's nothing there that's going to make you stop or slow down or think it's not so great. But that really is about the only real problem with it, I thought. So for that rough hop character, maybe be careful with water treatments. If you're adding magnesium, don't, or add less, because that can really bring out the wrong part of the hop bittering, can make it pretty rough. Make sure you got fresh hops, maybe a nice low cohumulone kind of hop. Don't use a real don't bitter these things with Chinook or anything like that. You stick with a British hop if you want to get that right, even for the bittering. Or if you want an American one, something really clean like a Magnum or a Warrior maybe would work fine. You don't need that much of it at that point. Maybe a little lower IBU too. I'm not really sure on that one. I think if the hop wasn't so rough, the IBU levels in this would probably be fine. And that's really most of my feedback on this. I think it was pretty close to being a really nice beer, but that roughness just kind of pulls it out of being a nice session drinker. But I gave it a 30 points. I didn't think it was out of style. It just has a couple of things that need to be fixed about how you went about making it, I think. But let's find out. Brian, what do you think?
Yes, a lot of the same things as you said will apply on my sheet as well here, but it does, it starts off with kind of a pleasant low caramel malt note with some bready undertones. It definitely has some maltiness to it there that does come through pretty cleanly. Medium kind of generic fruity esters in there. It does have a pretty high hop aroma. I did notice a lot of again, floral and kind of earthy and spicy hops and pretty sharp hop character in there. But yeah, no DMS or diacetyl. I didn't get any butteriness in my tasting notes here, but Appearance-wise, it was a pretty beer. Nice deep gold color. Only a light bit of haze to it. A medium off-white head that fades fairly quickly to a collar and a low cover in the middle of the beer there. And mostly fine bubbles. Just a pretty beer. Looks like an English beer. Flavor-wise, the malt is fruity and lightly caramelly. The hop bitterness is medium high, and it's with the dry finish that it has. The mineral additions that seem to be in here, it comes across as being kind of chalky tasting and harsh. The hop presentation is a little rough, and it's mostly the bitterness. It's not like late hop character. To me, I found a medium low phenolic in there. Has a light medicinal and plasticky kind of Band-Aid like flavor in there that detracted from it a little bit. I noticed it more in the first sample than this one. I don't know if it was a bottle issue, but this one seems to have it really lightly, or else it's that really the strong orange beer has taken the taste out of my mouth.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. Way to go, Chris.
Yeah, everything tastes like orange peel now.
But yeah, the malt, and I'm getting some of the phenols again. They linger in the aftertaste a little bit. If you just, it dries out, and then what's left is just you get that
I do smell orange.
The sweet malt and a little phenolic kind of.
I'm sure it's not the beer,
flavor.
but I'm sure that last beer.
Yeah, it's stuck,
your hat.
Stuck to your tongue.
I can smell colors.
So, yeah, body-wise, medium light body, no detectable warmth, not very creamy. I'm getting a little bit of astringency from the hops in this one, and had kind of medium carbonation, so not too bad there. But you could reduce that astringency. And again, it's probably from the hops and combined with some of those whatever mineral additions might have been in the water here that might have been a little overdone. So feedback-wise, the overall impression, it hits a lot of the marks for the style as a decent ESB. The two main issues would be the phenolic to me. Number one, you want to watch your sanitation, cleaning practices at all stages, especially after the beer cools down, and change out any soiled or damaged or old plastic equipment, especially the tubing that you're transferring things with, or siphons, things like that. Just get rid of that stuff once every, if you brew a lot, once every 6 to 9 months, or a year if you don't brew as often. And I would say reduce those mineral additions second, and just get rid of that intensely chalky impression. It seems well brewed otherwise, good ingredients, and I'd say keep up the good work and the good brewing. But yeah, you could use some possible recipe adjustments to kind of reduce the overall hop harshness and the impression of the hops that's coming across, and make it a smoother, more proper to the English style kind of a beer. I rated it as a 28 out of 50. I thought it was a pretty good beer. But, yeah, thanks for sharing it.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. What do you guys think? Are these guys full of shit or what?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you start first. I talk a lot.
You're full of it. That's for sure. No. We actually don't do too much with our water. Living in the Central Valley, we have really interesting well water, and so that's a 50/50 RO and filtered tap water.
Okay.
And so, but we have very chalky water, and I think that
a lot of carbonate and a lot of
it's almost. Most of us don't even drink it.
Brackish.
No, really? It has to
we
be
don't.
filtered.
It has to be filtered.
It's not the greatest at all.
Yeah. My only other thought would be, because we dry hop this beer, and what did we dry hop it with?
It was EKG, the East Kent Goldings.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, and that was actually the only English hop we used in the whole thing.
Yeah, I saw that when I was glancing at the recipe.
We used Cascade and Citra exclusively because, like I said, it was a compromise beer. And so I was trying to fit two styles with one beer,
Yeah, the hop character was a little funky, but if you used the English yeast with it, that might, smooth that out, make a little fruity edge to it. The English style kind of cover up some of that American yeast. And
and that's actually kind of another interesting, really story. Is we went to the AHA rally at Magnolia. And they gave out some 002 of their strain.
Yeah.
And that's what we used.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how we were. That's
brewery pitch.
Yeah. That's what we ended up brewing with. That's how we got our pale ale and this ESB. It's basically the same malt profile and everything. It's just the yeast that we used when we were fermenting it. It was the only different part. Was that correct, Daniel? Brewmaster Daniel?
Yeah. What was really interesting, about 3 to 4 weeks in, this beer had a very strong raspberry taste. And it has dropped out of it.
That's interesting. Yeah, because you can get that from that yeast.
Yeah.
Raspberry, strawberry.
Really?
Yeah.
It was really sweet.
Yeah, this tastes a lot better now when I drink it here than, than like a week after we kegged it. And it was like, man, it's so hoppy. It almost doesn't. My only experience with an ESB is like a Red Hook, their ESB.
Okay.
That's about it, because I don't typically go out and buy that.
You could actually go to Magnolia and drink their beer.
Yeah.
Because they usually have at least one bitter on, and often more than that.
Yeah.
Often on cask, too. There are locally brewed versions around there, whether they're how close to real they are is sometimes a matter of debate. I think Magnolia's all right. Freewheel down in Redwood City specializes in this stuff.
If you ever get to Van Nuys in L.A., go to McLeod.
Okay.
They're all cask beer. Their ESB is delicious. It's the most delicious.
Nice.
It has all of the deliciousness.
Yeah. The hop bill in here, looking at the recipe now, kind of explains a lot of things. I mean, I definitely get that EKG character in here that you dry hopped with, that kind of spicy floral thing. But the Cascade you bitter with probably explains some of that roughness, and the Citra and Cascade is probably where some of that crazy tropical fruitiness in here is coming from. That's not English hops.
Per the guidelines, though, the BJCP does say that in the aroma and the flavor, you can use any variety of hops. Although the UK is the most traditional, you want those earthy floral kind of hops in there.
It's just like those.
And I've had bitters over in England where they definitely did use American hops. It was pretty obvious. I mean, it was Cascade in your face.
Yeah.
But it was also presented as such.
Brewed there, and it tasted a little
How does
different.
that work with a like heavier crystal malt? I would think it'd be a little clashy.
I think the beer that I remember the most didn't have a particularly heavy crystal malt character. It was a paler version.
Okay.
A little bit lighter. So it worked fine.
Works good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was I don't remember who made it. It was the infamous Yankee Rooster, this was probably 10 years ago I had it. But it was a bitter that was made with Cascades.
Cool.
Yeah.
I see that this beer dried out to 10:05 there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
your yeast was happy.
That's the other. That's the other thing that kind of happened is we found out that our thermometer was 7 degrees off.
Oh,
and so,
which way?
On the low
high
side.
or low? On low. Okay.
Yeah. So
for your mash?
Okay. So we were shooting for 154. I think we got 152.
You're down at 147 or something.
Exactly. And so they both fermented like super low. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And I emailed you before it was done fermenting. So I thought, hey, this can be a great beer. I'm going to put this one on the radio.
Yeah. We have since fixed that problem.
Yes, I fixed the thermometer.
You'd have to
calibrated that thing
once in a while.
Yeah, you have to do it. It's one of those oft missed things that can add havoc to your beer.
And after years of brewing, you'll just feel the mash. It's like, this isn't right. Give me some ice water.
Yeah, and we don't have a super duper sophisticated system. You know what I mean? We just do it in a garage with a turkey fryer, basically. Kind of thing.
We batch sparge.
Yeah.
Pretty much the cheapest way you can do it is the way we do it.
Because we got some people in the company who don't want to put any money into it. So.
No, you Central Valley people.
That's understandable. That happens.
They still want those
if you're going to use a thermometer, you should check and make sure it's reading reasonably accurately.
That's cheap.
Anyways. That's easy to do.
Well, and you have to save all your money for bottled water.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Right? It's a pain.
Can we run down your recipe real fast?
Yeah, you can just fill up a bunch of buckets from the hose out back while you're here.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
That's
good water.
Hetchy water, right?
No,
there you go.
We don't even know these days, actually. But yeah.
So, this is for a 11-gallon batch. We used 16 and a half pounds Maris Otter. We used 1 pound 4 ounces of Crystal 80. We used 1 pound 6 ounces of Munich 10. We used 1 pound 6 ounces of Victory, and we used about 15 ounces of wheat in it. And then at 60 minutes, we used about 2.6 ounces of Cascade. At 10 minutes, we used another ounce of Cascade and an ounce of Citra. At Flame Out, we used 2 ounces. And then we dry hopped with EKG at about 7 days. And so we used WLP 002 on this. And
big healthy pitch.
Huge healthy pitch. I didn't even use the whole thing because I would have overpitched.
Oh, wow.
But what was really interesting, it took 2 days to wake up. Even with that huge pitch. Because it had been sitting for about 3 weeks. It took 2 weeks to wake up. The pale ale that I used, my stir plate on, started within like 6 hours.
Yeah, that was crazy when that happened.
Do you remember what the temperature was? Was there a temperature differential between the yeast that you pitched into the wort? Or
yeah, there had to be. One was room temperature, and one was probably about 50, 55 when I pitched the yeast into the wort. And then they're both in the same kind of chest freezer.
Mm-hmm.
And
that can come into play too.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, hey.
Yeah, right.
So, thinking back, I probably should have left it out.
I've made mistakes like that too. It's like, why did I drop this? Yeah. My beer is at 78 here, and I just pitched it anyway. What the heck?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, usually because we brew at night too, so it's like 10 o'clock comes rolling around, and we're like,
whatever your beer's at.
Yeah, right. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
For sure. Well, remember Marshall we had on a few shows ago? He's done experiments that it's like people can't tell. He does a triangle test with that, and one of them was that 10-degree differential.
Yep.
So
yeah, but
maybe
it's
matter.
different if you've got your yeast and your beer wort equilibrated with at least a similar temperature, and you do that versus pulling it out of the fridge and dumping it into a 70-degree beer.
Right.
You're going to shock the hell out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have any questions for the handsome men over here?
I guess I'm just a little bit concerned that you got some Band-Aid in it. We have pretty, what I consider fairly clean practices, and so...
We did brew a Galaxy Pale Ale that was just pretty much undrinkable. Yeah, we took it to some guy in Modesto, and they were like, "Yeah, let's just pour this down the drain.
Yeah,
it ain't worth drinking."
Right in front of you.
Yeah, it was pretty it had a lot of that kind of medicinal kind of taste to it. So we haven't had one since then, but we try really hard to.
What's that from?
We didn't get it from. It can be from wild yeast or from other things and kind of. Contaminating your beer,
It could be
but
from plastic or rubber.
It could also be my imagination, honestly, because there was there's a form of harshness to this beer from the hops and the minerally character of the water that just make the flavors in there a little hard to place in some ways. So I wasn't 100% sure about that phenolic, but I just wanted to mention it. On the second sample, I really didn't taste it as much. On the first one, it was also I think it was the first beer we tasted, and sometimes that can throw you a little curveball, too, as a judge. When your first beer, you have to be really careful how you judge it, because sometimes you can get something that's really sub-threshold that just pops out at you.
Yeah.
Or might not even be there, that you're trying to figure out what it is. That could be... I really felt like I got on the first bit, and I'm kind of sensitive to phenolics. So if it's something that creeps up over time as the beer ages, then it's there. If it doesn't, if it just kind of stays like it tastes now or mellows out even more, then it probably was just a figment of my imagination.
I didn't think we were allowed to have those.
I'll give them that. It's
sure.
They seem to be smart gentlemen that know what they're doing in the brew house. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt there.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Man, this is awesome.
Okay.
I mixed a little bit with that, the last of that orange sample, and it actually makes it sound.
Maybe we should get with that guy and kind of do a collaboration.
Sounds like it.
Orange oil bitter with American hops.
We'll mellow out your orange beer with our.
What category is that? Specialty or fruit beer? What?
It would probably be a specialty at this point.
Homebrew.
Yeah,
right.
Homebrew category. Perfect. Okay, we're going to take a break on that note, and then when we come back, we'll do a little recap. We'll issue the awards from GrogTag and High Gravity Brew, and we'll get out of here. So, Dr. Homebrew back after this.
Do you know the three most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today. Admit it.
Homebrewing is not always free of frustrations. Years ago, brothers Bill and Jim Mitchell decided to minimize those frustrations and create an entirely new brewing process and a brand new kitchen appliance, the Pico Brew Zymatic. The Zymatic sits on your kitchen counter and connects to the internet via Wi-Fi. It comes with access to a huge recipe library full of award-winning beers and can brew your next batch at the push of a button. Improve repeatability and refine your recipes with the Pico Brew Zymatic. With minimal cleaning and hassle, the Zymatic enables anyone to brew craft beer in the comfort of their own kitchen. Just add your ingredients and the process of homebrewing becomes simplified and automatic, allowing you to focus on what really matters while you brew. At Pico Brew, they believe everyone should be able to enjoy the art of homebrewing and make their own damn good craft beer. See the Zymatic in action today at picobrew.com. Attention homebrewers, if you like making labels for your handcrafted awesomeness and wished more people could see how great you are, then check this out. GrogTag, the makers of custom reusable labels, and craftbeerandbrewing.com are hosting the first ever National Homebrew Label Awards. The top 10 labels will be featured at the 2015 National Homebrewers Conference in San Diego to more than 5,000 attendees, and more than $2,500 in prizes will be awarded. If you've created a label at any time in the past year, you're eligible to enter. GrogTag and Craft Beer and Brewing have teamed up with great sponsors like More Beer and the Brewing Network to make this competition a great one to enter. Submit your entries between March 1st and June 1st for your chance at fortune and glory at homebrewlabelawards.com. That's homebrewlabelawards.com. Submit your label entries today. Good luck, and we'll see you in San Diego. Beer tasting games that train your palate, a brewery locator, and the brand new interactive beer style guide. These are just a few of the awesome things you'll find on craftbeer.com. The style guide is a beautiful example of technology in beer. Browse beer style families or turn on the automatic beer style finder and explore beer through color, bitterness, ABV, aroma, and flavor. It's really the coolest way to explore every beer style besides having them all in front of you. Go to craftbeer.com and click on Beer Styles to start the guide. Plus, enjoy the rest of craftbeer.com, the Brewers Banter blogs, beer education, how to host a beer tasting, and the invaluable Draft Quality Manual. Tons of great content that makes your beer better. Visit the new craftbeer.com right now and explore the website that brings you all the passion, camaraderie, and creativity of the craft beer community. Craftbeer.com, celebrating the best of American beer. A few things happened 30 years ago. ARPANET migrated to TCP/IP, and the Internet was born. Revenge of the Jedi was renamed Return of the Jedi and opened in theaters. Mila Kunis and Emily Blunt were born, beginning a rad fantasy in my mind. But all of that pales next to the fact that HopTech opened its doors and began blowing homebrewers right out of their mash tuns. HopTech doesn't fuck around. Real people shipping awesome shit straight to you. Their new website is fast and easy to navigate. Or just call 800-379-4677 and let badass bitch Jade and the gadget guy Roberto blow their warm load of customer service all over you. So visit the site or visit the store in Dublin, California, and support those that support you. Get your brewing on at hoptech.com.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're going to have to pour you out.
Back to Dr. Homebrew.
All right, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us through a rather long Dr. Homebrew episode.
An Earth Day edition.
The Earth Day edition.
Right.
Exactly right.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
No, and
I guess we're not going to.
No, we're not going to.
We're done.
Except for Brian's snafu there.
I drew little planet Earths on each of the score sheets, though, so.
Great.
All right. Are they smiling?
They should
They're
be.
spinning.
Why wouldn't they be? They're
Still,
spinning.
somehow.
I think you're spinning. Brian's cut off, by
There's
the way.
a
If
global
he's spinning
spinning
already,
reduction is in effect, though, so we have to watch out.
we shouldn't spin anymore.
Don't spin so fast.
That's too bad. Well, I don't know. You're going to have to tell the clubbers that we're clubbing to that last commercial we had.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, let's blaze through this and get out of here. So we had Chris on the first segment, and Daniel and Jesse are still in the studio. So as for the Grog Tag $40, at least your beer will look good gift certificate that we tongue-in-cheekly give out to the beer with the lowest score, it's Daniel and Jesse.
Yeah. There you go. The best of the worst. I'm okay with that.
What score did we give him? Or by we, I mean you.
I think it was average 30.
Okay, so by like 2 points you guys lost, which is
okay with that.
Which is pretty good.
Maybe
29.
29.
Yeah, 29.
Okay, by 3
30.
points you guys lost. Which
It
is,
wasn't much because the
By
other one
2
was
points,
only
yeah.
like
We gave it
an average
32
of 30.
or 3 points. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
it was a close race.
Cool. Our friends at grogtag.com will want your beer to at least look good, so I will get you that information a little bit later on. And that means Chris is the winner of our high gravity pack. I don't even know what to call it. A gift pack or something, right?
Something to make his beer even more high gravity than it already is, right?
Yeah, sure. Desiree at High Gravity Homebrew. You can check her out at highdgravitybrew.com. She's a great sponsor of the show, relatively recent, and we love her for it. And she gives out some pretty cool prizes. So we're glad that you're here, Desiree.
And a free case of orange oil from Orange Oil Importers Limited in Berkeley.
Shangzhou, China.
Yes.
Is that it? Did we do all our people?
Yeah. Thanks to everybody for sharing their beers and the guys for coming in the studio. It was a lot of fun having you here.
I do have one. I'm sorry. I do have one more thing to read because there is a craft beer festival happening in Livermore. May 9th, Friday. No, not Friday. That says festival.
Saturday.
Festival, May 9th, 2015, from 1 to 5 p.m. at the Shrine Event Center, which is on Lindbergh Avenue in Livermore. I'm sure everybody knows where that is. Local breweries, gourmet food, live music. They're going to have unlimited pours, which is really the way to go for festivals. Small charge for food, live music, and all of that raises funds for the Shriners Hospital Transportation Fund. It's a $40 pre-sale or $50 ticket at the door. There's a VIP ticket available for sale, which is $65, which includes early entry and a T-shirt and a bag and coupons and goodies and all that kind of stuff. You can go to Livermore Valley Craft Beer Festival.com. They're also on Facebook.
There's also going to be some homebrew poured at that festival by the Mad Zymergist Homebrew Club.
Oh, nice.
Of which I'm a member. And
That's right. Go taste Brian's beer.
They taste some of my beer.
Yeah, and then you can just sit there and go, I mean, I would give it the Grog Tag certificate, but I wouldn't give the High Gravity Homebrew.
You might want to
packet.
drop the crystal a little bit in this and raise your mash temperature. And I think there's phenolic in the background.
And then pour it on his feet and walk away. Anyway, it's Dr. Homebrew, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye.